Hi all, it's Vanessa from Apple Patch, and we're up to week 12 of our Mystery Quilt sew along, which means technically you're halfway, once you've made these blocks, you are halfway through making all of your blocks. Oh, it's exciting. So I've got 2 blocks here in various states of construction. First one I'm going to show you is one of the blocks that uses our our background fabric. And if you haven't realised, they are the big triangle ones. So I've got some squares and some triangles. I'm going to construct this the same as I would a 9 patch. So I'm going to sew the fabrics for the top row together, the fabrics for the second row. Then I'm going to sew those together and then add on my last triangle. Now I'm going to sew that together while you all watch on. Hopefully no unpicking required. Now, you'll be cutting the squares as half square triangles. Cut them to the exact size shown in the instructions and on the cutting sheet. And yes, there should be a little triangle that hangs off the end. That allows for our 1/4 inch seam. Thinking about which way I'm going to press my seams. Now, something to keep in mind, I'm not walking up to the ironing board to do this because I can finger score and get the seam nice and flat, but I do recommend going to the iron and giving it a good press. The other thing is I've got a 1/4 inch foot that's got the little side guide on it. These little tails that stick out, sometimes they do get caught against that foot, so it's a good idea to trim them off. Okay, so there is my triangle, and when I've got my background fabric out, I'll cut my background fabric square, cut in half diagonally, and sew it to this piece. And that will be another block done. Right. The other block we've got is called Beggar's Block. Don't know quite how it got its name, but that's the name that's in the system of all my computer files. So you're going to make a series of what look like to me little butterfly blocks. So this block is a combination of a rail fence block. So essentially we've got 3 strips, but the 2 outside strips are done using stitch and flip in the corners. So here's the back of one of those little units. So the same as we did for flying geese, you're going to cut a series of little squares, draw a diagonal line across from corner to corner, set it into the corner of your rectangle, stitch along your line and then trim off the excess. And then you can either press to the side or press open. So I'm just going to make another one of those little units. So when you do the square in a square, or square in the corner stitch and flip technique, before you trim off your excess, do open them out and just make sure that they are actually coming out the correct size. Because once you cut it off, it's too late. Okay, so I'm just going to make sure I've got this up the right way, because I have used directional fabrics just to be extra fun. Okay, so this is now the same as the rail fence block. These are only 1.5 inches wide, so your 1/4 inch seam becomes very critical that you don't make it too wide. So what I suggest doing is make one of these units, take it over to your ruler and double check that you haven't made these seams, these 1/4 inch seams, too wide, because you need it to be 3.5 inches. So same as I suggested with the rail fence block, double check your seam widths, because if you go through and sew all these together and then realise you've sewn a little bit of a too wide seam, it's a lot of unpicking. Another one of our little units. It's very cute. So these units get arranged in alternating directions. So hopefully you can see those 2 there. And then this one will go in that direction. So they alternate. So same as rail fence alternates. And this is, I think, is going to make a very pretty little block. So I shall finish sewing these up together, sew the block up, and yeah, and show you the finished item. I'm just going to pause the video.